A shape appears over Chengdu that shouldn't exist yet. No tail, no precedent, no official explanation, just a jet, screaming across the sky, escorted by China's most advanced stealth fighter, like it's guarding something bigger than itself. This isn't a rendering, it isn't a leak. It flew. And then it flew again. And again. For 18 straight months. While Beijing said absolutely nothing. Not a name, not a photo, not a single word of confirmation. And then, buried inside a 4-minute video meant to celebrate a cargo plane's birthday, the silence broke. 2 seconds of footage, one scripted line of dialogue, and suddenly the world's most secretive fighter program had a face. We're tracing this story from the first blurry photograph to the moment China finally blinked, and what it means that America's own answer might be arriving second. It starts on a December morning with a jet that has no tail. December 26, 2024. Chengdu, Sichuan. A cold winter morning, the kind of overcast sky that swallows detail and hides secrets. And then, without warning, a shape lifts off the runway that no aviation tracker on Earth has ever cataloged. No tail, no vertical stabilizer breaking the silhouette. Just a massive, diamond-shaped wing slicing through the air like something that skipped a generation of engineering entirely. Stenciled on the forward fuselage, barely visible in the grainy photos already spreading online, the serial number 36011. Flying beside it, almost protectively, a Chengdu J-20S, China's most advanced operational stealth fighter, reduced to the role of chase plane. Think about that for a second. The jet meant to escort and study this new aircraft is itself considered one of the most capable fighters on the planet, and it looks small next to what it's following. Within hours, aviation analysts around the world are staring at the same handful of blurry images, running the same numbers, asking the same question: what is this? The community lands on a name almost by instinct, J-36, pulled straight from the serial number and Beijing's own naming conventions. But the story doesn't stop there. On that exact same day, in a completely different facility, a second tailless prototype breaks cover. The Shenyang J-50. Smaller, different shape. A rival state, contractor. A rival design philosophy. Flying on the very same afternoon. This isn't one secret program. It's two. Running in parallel. At competing companies. Racing each other as much as they're racing anyone in Washington. No government announcement. No press release. Just enthusiasts, satellite trackers, and aviation photographers piecing together fragments in real time, doing the intelligence work that no official statement will confirm for another 18 months. And here's the thing that should stop you cold. The shape alone told experts almost everything they needed to know. Before a single spec was confirmed, before a single official word was spoken, the silhouette itself was the message. This jet wasn't built to be seen, it was built to disappear. So what exactly makes this shape so different? Look closely at the J-36, and the first thing you notice is what's missing. No vertical tail, no rudder fins slicing up from the fuselage. Instead, a sweeping tri-jet, double delta silhouette that Chinese commentators have started calling the ginkgo leaf, a wide, flattened diamond that blends wing and body into one continuous surface. It sounds like an aesthetic choice. It isn't. It's physics. Here's why the tail matters so much. On almost every fighter jet ever built, the vertical stabilizer is one of the single largest radar reflecting surfaces on the entire aircraft. It's a flat, upright panel standing straight into the path of enemy radar waves, practically begging to bounce a signal straight back to whoever's looking for you. Remove it, and you don't just clean up the silhouette. You eliminate one of the biggest giveaways an enemy has. Now compare that to what the world currently calls stealth. The J-20, China's own fifth-generation fighter. The F-35, America's workhorse stealth jet. Both are remarkable aircraft. Both are also, structurally, still compromises, canted tails, angled but present, doing the job while still leaving something for radar to grab onto. The J-36 skips that compromise entirely. No tail to cant, no compromise to make. What does a lower radar cross-section actually buy a country? Not invisibility. Nothing is truly invisible to radar. What it buys is time, a shrinking window. The distance at which an enemy operator can first pick up a track, identify it, and react keeps collapsing, second by second, mile by mile. In modern air combat, that shrinking window is often the entire fight. If this were just a shape, one clever prototype photographed once, it would be a curiosity, a talking point for aviation forums, and nothing more. But this shape didn't fly once. It kept flying, again and again. For a year and a half, while the rest of the world tried to figure out exactly what they were watching. For the next 18 months, the J-36 becomes a ghost that keeps showing up on camera. March 2025, footage of the aircraft surfaces on Chinese state broadcast television, not as an announcement, not with a name attached, just there in the background, as if daring viewers to notice. No caption, no confirmation, just visibility without acknowledgement. April 2025 raises the stakes. New evidence points to a carrier landing system built into the design, reinforced structures, approach geometry, the telltale signs of an aircraft engineered to operate off a flight deck, not just a runway. Suddenly, this isn't only a land-based interceptor. It might be something built for blue water reach, for operations far from the Chinese mainland. By May and June of 2025, the photography finally catches up to the rumors. For the first time, analysts get a clean head-on shot of the aircraft. No more grainy long-lens blur. No more guesswork about the intake geometry or the wing's true proportions. And by December 2025, a third airframe is spotted. Not a prototype, not a rumor. A third physical aircraft, meaning this program isn't limping along on a single test article. It is scaling. Through all of it, Beijing says nothing. Not a name, not a spec sheet, not even a formal acknowledgement that the aircraft exists. Analysts have a term for this: strategic ambiguity. Let foreign observers do the work. Let them argue amongst themselves about capability, about intent, about timelines. Confirm nothing. Deny nothing. Just keep flying. And that silence is its own weapon. Every unanswered question forces rival air forces to plan for the worst-case version of this aircraft, because they can't verify the best case. Every grainy photo becomes homework for the Pentagon. Uncertainty isn't a gap in the story, it's the strategy. Then, in the middle of the summer, buried inside a video meant to celebrate something else entirely, that 18-month silence finally cracked. June 28, 2026. China Military Bugle, the People's Liberation Army's own official press channel, publishes a video. On the surface, it's nothing dramatic. A 4-minute tribute marking an anniversary for the Y-20, China's heavy-lift transport plane. The kind of content built for military pride, not military secrets. But watch the final seconds. Two pilots sit in the cockpit of a tanker aircraft, mid-conversation. One asks who they're refueling that day. The other answers almost casually. First the Master 6, then the Little 6. Master 6, an established nickname for the H-6 bomber. And then, for exactly 1 second, the camera catches something streaking past the window outside. A tailless jet, that unmistakable diamond silhouette. Analysts immediately recognize what just happened. This is the first implicit official acknowledgement of the program, not a specification sheet, not a press conference, just a scripted line of dialogue and a single second of footage. But in a country that had said absolutely nothing for 18 months, 1 second is deafening. It isn't a leak, it's a decision. A calculated signal of confidence, deployed exactly when and how Beijing chose to deploy it. And here's what almost nobody caught the first time through. That same video holds a second secret. Elsewhere in the footage, briefly appears the KJ-3000, a massive airborne early warning aircraft built on the Y-20B airframe, first flown December 27, 2024, just 1 day after the J-36 itself broke cover. The hardware is serious. 4 domestically produced WS-20 turbofans replacing older, less efficient engines. A rotating radar dome on top of the fuselage housing dual active electronically scanned array systems. An infrared search and track sensor for picking up heat signatures radar might miss. And a claimed detection range against stealth targets of roughly 360 kilometers. Separately, these are 2 impressive aircraft, a stealth fighter and a flying radar station, each worth a headline on its own. Together, hidden in the same 60-second clip, they become something else entirely. Here's why pairing these 2 aircraft matters more than either one alone. A stealth fighter is only half a weapon system. It can hide from radar, but it still needs to find its target. And the moment it switches on its own onboard radar to search, it risks giving away the exact position it spent billions of dollars trying to conceal. That's where the KJ-3000 comes in. It does the looking so the J-36 doesn't have to. Its radar sweeps hundreds of kilometers of sky, locks onto distant, low observable targets, and quietly hands that tracking data to the fighter, which can then engage from long range without ever lighting up its own systems. The stealth jet stays dark. The radar plane does the seeing. Together, they function less like 2 aircraft and more like a single weapon split across 2 airframes. And there's another detail buried in that same June clip worth pausing on. The J-36 shown mid-refueling from a tanker. That's not a small thing. It means the program has moved past basic test flights into long-range, extended endurance evaluation, the kind of testing that precedes real operational deployment, not just proof-of-concept demonstrations. Which brings us to the other side of the Pacific. America's answer is the Boeing F-47, developed under the Next Generation Air Dominance program, with a first flight goal currently set around 2028. On paper, that sounds like a reasonable timeline. Until you hear what America's own officials are saying out loud. Senior USAF leaders, including Andrew P. Hunter and Kenneth Wilsbach, have publicly acknowledged something remarkable. The J-36 could reach initial operational capability before the F-47 does. Not might. Could. Stated on the record by the people responsible for America's own program. They follow it, almost reflexively, with a note of confidence that whenever the American jet does arrive, it'll be the better machine. Maybe, but confidence isn't a timeline, And right now, China isn't waiting to find out who's right. Zoom out, and here's where this actually sits. Both nations are aiming for the early 2030s to field an operational sixth-generation fighter. This isn't a settled outcome. It's a live race, still being run, with no finish line in sight yet. For 18 months, America watched and waited for confirmation that never officially came, until China chose the exact moment, the exact video, the exact single second to reveal it on its own terms. So the question isn't whether China can build a sixth-generation fighter anymore. It's whether America will still be first when it actually matters.